Welcome back. We got a new story of melenia going on. I don't really know exactly how to start this story, but maybe it started with her death, and then she was able to be reborn under the Erd tree, and she came back to life as a tarnished, reborn and ready to wreak vengeance on all those who wronged her at some point. Maybe she'll get over the fact her beloved twin brother was stolen and kidnapped, or maybe she'll start what she finished, or finish what she started, and resurrect him and bring another dawn of the age. Who knows what's going to happen until you watch. As you can tell, we're playing as melenia. We have the hand of melenia plus 10, finger seal plus 25, her winged helm, her maiden's armor, or melenia's armor, gauntlets, and greaves. We will be using a rotten winged sword signet, the godskin swaddling cloth for heals, Bloodlord's exaltation for an extra damage boost, and the exaltation of rot. Here she's a fresh tarnished. She has to know she's not invincible anymore. She found out pretty hard getting checked by a giant dude on a horse. Kinda hurts. At least more than as she was a demigod, now that she's just a lowly tarnished. Alright, here we fight the first real boss of the game, Margit, who's actually Margot, who's projecting himself in front of the Stormvale Castle. I understand why you have to fight him, for a kind of like a checks and balance thing. This is you are not high enough level or skilled enough to proceed, so go fight these minor bosses in caves and get more powerful and come back later. You don't want to embarrass yourself in front of Godric. Yeah, Godric? Yeah, Godric. Godfrey? No, Godric. Godric the Grafted. The thing I don't understand is he's there for like a technicality, but why is he there for... It's almost like he's protecting Godric. He should hate Godric. Godric tried to usurp the Elden capital, and he failed and got pushed back down to Stormvale. And then after that, he talks shit to melenia, and, she kicks his shit in. So why is Margit kind of coming out before Godric? Morgoth's got to understand, they all know what runes are. They all know you need a maiden to use the runes to get more powerful. So they know everyone is worth some kind of money. The more powerful you are, they have to understand they're worth runes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have maidens unlocking the runes and doing power. That's my understanding, basic understanding, that everyone knows they're worth something. You just need to have the maiden to unlock that inner power. So like all these humans and shit running around, they know they're worth money. They know they're worth power to someone else who can use it with a maiden. So I understand why he's almost protecting them, and then he's powering you up to really defeat Godric. Maybe that's his ultimate plan. Go and get the shit kicked out of himself, make sure you're worthy of his time, and then he's also powering you up to defeat his rival who tried to usurp his throne. That's just my little theory. Is it the right theory? Probably not. I'm also one of the kind of people who always says, there's really no story in Elden Ring, it's just whatever the hell you make up yourself. But there's all those catacombs, and you just gotta place the thing, blah, 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 blah. Most of the catacombs have the same bosses and the same fights. I feel like the catacombs are like all the dungeons in the new Zelda games. I love the Zelda games, but do I want to do 120 shrines on each game to power up, and it's almost damn near identical? Sure, the puzzles are slightly different, but for the most part, it's the same song and dance. All right, you do a little dance, you fight someone, you do something, you put a ball in a hole magically with your powers. And that's how I feel about the catacombs. There's really... Some of them have a little bit of lore hidden away, like if you go into Radahn's catacombs, you see his knights fighting the Cleanrot Knights. Okay, sweet. But it doesn't explain in-game why they're fighting. It shows you melenia fighting Radahn in the beginning of the game. It kind of explains that they're all on this power trip and they wanted to kill themselves and to get the power themselves. But they don't explain what melenia was doing and why her knights are still there killing each other as spirits. Maybe they all just died and they got there's spirits possessed and trapped in that jail, and instead of a catacomb, it's now it's a jail essentially for all eternity. Who knows? But like most of the catacombs, someone's like, you just gotta look for the story. It's in there. Every item has a particular place where it's found. Yeah, it does. But you can't say the enemies are any particular. They're just the same damn enemies in just slightly different spots who drop the same damn items. I feel like the catacombs should have been a place to learn a little bit more of the history of each land. The Caelid catacombs would be slightly different than the Limgrave catacombs. If you're in a catacomb in Elden Ring, I always assumed you're probably a higher up person of importance, but not so high up where you get an Elden Tree burial, because that's ultimately what you want. You want to die in the good faith and be resurrected by the Elden Tree. People who I feel are going in the catacombs are probably people who maybe like be a knight or someone who like a good official, but they weren't quite good enough to be reborn. But you should be honored in some way. Or it could just be some schmucks, but like everyone else is just dying on a pile of bodies. So I don't understand why they would put a commoner in a catacomb that they spent so much time making and then protecting with all these those stupid imps. So that's why I think the catacombs should have been more important, because they would have had semi-important people. They could have told a story of like a lord, someone why the Limgrave people are fighting whoever, and then it could have been more storytelling without holding your hand, but it could explain some of the things of what's going on. Maybe the capital, any catacombs around the capital could have been the war between Stormvale and the capital. Nothing that would have been game breaking. You could have put some murals in there, maybe a couple passages with a text here and there. Do I believe everyone needed to have its own story and a huge amount of time and effort put into it? No. I would have liked to see something where it's like, if I want to dig deep, I could find some clues as to what's going on. Other than everyone hates you because you're tarnished and they see you as a threat to end the order. Which honestly, if they would have just left me alone in the beginning of the game, I probably wouldn't even destroyed the Elden Tree. I would have just said, screw it. Let bygones be bygones. I do my thing, you do your thing. But nope, everyone has to sit there and attack me. Everyone has to sit there and kill me. They have to sit there, and Var has to sit there and kill my maiden. But that's just, my rant. That's how I feel about the game. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how you need to feel about the game. But I don't know what else to really say about all these videos, because everyone's like, well, I just fought Margot. I did my whirlwind slash and he did the pooper duper scoop. Long story short, the Melenia run was actually really fun. But I had more fun talking about some of the lore and some of the issues I had with the game without shitting on the game. I love the game. I enjoy it. I wouldn't play it and make videos about it if I didn't like it. So just relax and let's